Understand English but can't speak?
Speak simple.
Speak confident.
English boost.
Boost your English.
Did you know that nearly 70% of people admit they feel a pang of anxiety the moment they walk into a party? It's that moment when the music is loud, the lights are dim, and you wonder if you'll end up chatting with a wall. Today, we're diving into that exact scenario, and trust me, by the end, you'll have a toolbox of easy English phrases to break the ice. So stick around because meeting someone new can be both fun and a great language practice.
Absolutely, Alex. I'm Sarah, and I love dissecting everyday situations to uncover the language gems hidden inside. In this episode, we'll explore how to start a conversation, join a group, and keep the chat flowing, all while sounding natural in English. We'll also sprinkle in a few cultural tips so you feel confident no matter where the party is. Ready to turn those nervous moments into smooth exchanges?
Listeners, here's what you'll learn. 3 go-to icebreakers, a step-by-step approach to entering a group conversation, and a quick confidence boost you can use right before you say hello. We'll give you sample sentences, body language cues, and even a little role play to practice. By the end, you'll have a mini script you can adapt to any party setting. What do you think, Sarah?
We'll break the episode into 4 clear segments: icebreakers, approaching groups, handling nerves, and turning small talk into a genuine connection. Each part will include real-world examples, a brief pause for you to repeat key phrases, and a mini challenge to try at your next gathering. That way you can follow along and practice in real time. Does that make sense, Alex?
But here's what's really interesting. Most of the awkwardness comes from overthinking, not from the other person. We'll show you how to keep your mind focused on the moment instead of the imagined judgment. So grab a notebook or just keep listening, and let's get started. Ready for the next tip, Sarah?
What do you think, Alex? Are you ready to share some of those secret weapons? Let's jump in and make meeting new people feel like a breeze.
Okay, first icebreaker, the classic food comment. When you see someone holding a snack, you can say, "That looks delicious. What is it?" It's simple, universal, and instantly gives you something to talk about. Plus, mentioning food invites the other person to share a little about their taste, which opens up more topics. And here's a little twist. Add a smile and a light chuckle to show you're genuinely curious. What do you think, Sarah? What do you think?
Exactly, Alex. In fact, I once approached a group by saying, "Wow, those are the best mini tacos I've ever seen. Are they homemade?" The host laughed, and we ended up chatting about favorite recipes for the whole night. Notice how I paired the question with a compliment. It makes the comment feel personal rather than generic. This technique also lets you practice adjectives and descriptive language in English. Do you agree, Alex?
Another solid opener is a genuine compliment about something non-physical, like a shirt or a playlist. You could say, "I love the vibe of that song you just played. Where did you discover it?" This shows you're paying attention and gives a natural segue into music talk. Music is a goldmine for follow-up questions. Artist, concert experiences, favorite genres. And remember, keep the tone light. You don't want to come across as overly flirty, right, Sarah?
What most people don't realize is that joining a group feels less intimidating than approaching a solo individual. The key is to listen first, absorb the current topic, and then add a brief, relevant comment. For example, if a group is debating the best sitcom, you could jump in with, "I totally agree. I think Friends set the bar for sitcom chemistry." This signals you're interested without hijacking the conversation. And here's where timing matters. Wait for a natural pause before you speak. Does that make sense, Alex?
Exactly, Sarah. I think of it as a 3-step dance. Observe, align, contribute. First, you swam a group that seems open. Maybe they're laughing or making eye contact with newcomers. Second, you align by nodding or smiling, showing you belong. Third, you contribute a brief, on-topic remark that adds value, which makes the transition smoother. What's your take, Sarah?
Listening is the unsung hero of conversation, Alex. When you let others speak for a minute, you pick up keywords you can echo later. If someone mentions they love hiking, you could respond, "I've been meaning to try the trail up by the river. Have you been?" This demonstrates active listening and gives you a chance to share a personal tidbit. And it also opens the door for the other person to ask you a question. creating a balanced exchange, so always give the conversation a few seconds to breathe before you jump in. Do you see that, Alex?
When you do add your comment, keep it concise. No more than 2 sentences, so you don't overwhelm the group. A good formula is acknowledge the topic, add a brief personal angle, then ask an open-ended question. For instance, I loved that movie too. The cinematography was stunning. What scene stuck with you the most? This invites deeper discussion while keeping the flow natural. Remember to match the group's energy. If they're lively, raise your voice slightly. If they're mellow, keep it calm. Agree, Sarah?
Body language is the silent partner of speech. Open posture, uncrossed arms, and occasional nods signal you're approachable. Even a simple gesture like leaning slightly forward shows interest. Conversely, checking your phone or looking around can signal disinterest, causing the group to exclude you. So keep your eyes on the speaker, smile genuinely, and use subtle mirroring to build rapport. Do you notice that, Alex?
And that's just the beginning. Once you've entered the conversation, the real challenge is managing those nervous butterflies that flutter in your stomach. If you let them take over, you might stumble over words or lose your train of thought. But there's a simple technique that can calm you instantly, and we'll explore it next. Ready for the next tip, Sarah?
The breath hack is surprisingly effective. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6, then pause for 2. This 4-4-6-2 pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering heart rate and calming the mind. Practicing it a few seconds before you approach someone can make your voice steadier and your thoughts clearer. It's a discreet tool. You can do it in a bathroom stall or even while waiting in line for drinks. Will you try it, Alex?
I remember a party where I was terrified, so I stepped into the bathroom, did the 4-4-6-2 breathing, and walked back out feeling like a superhero. The first person I talked to was a graphic designer, and we instantly clicked over our love for comic books. That moment taught me that a few deep breaths can transform anxiety into excitement. It also reminded me that everyone else is probably doing the same ritual, just silently. Sounds good, Sarah?
What if confidence isn't about boldness, but about authenticity? When you speak from a place of genuine interest, your words carry more weight than any rehearsed line. Think of confidence as a friendly handshake, firm enough to be noticed, but not crushing. By focusing on curiosity rather than performance, you naturally appear more relaxed. Does that resonate, Alex?
Here's where it gets fascinating. The art of segueing from small talk to a shared interest. Once you've established a topic, you can deepen it by linking it to a personal story. For example, after discussing a favorite TV show, you might say, "That episode reminded me of a road trip I took last summer. Have you ever traveled for a series finale?" This moves the conversation from surface level to memorable. It also gives the other person a chance to share an experience, creating mutual connection. What do you think, Sarah?
Small talk topics are like building blocks. The best ones are universal and open-ended. Think about travel, food, music, movies, or even the party's theme. A question like, "How did you hear about this event?" can reveal common networks and lead to further discussion. Also, pay attention to the environment. If there's a quirky decoration, ask, "What do you think of that art piece over there?" It shows you're observant and creative. Got any favorites, Alex?
And here's a transition hook. After you've exchanged a few facts, you can introduce a light, reflective question that invites personal insight. Something like, "What's one thing you hope to achieve before the end of the year?" This shifts the tone from casual to meaningful without being intrusive. People love sharing aspirations, and it often sparks enthusiasm. Answering such a question gives you a chance to share yours, building reciprocity. Sounds good, Sarah.
I once asked a new acquaintance at a rooftop party about their 2024 goal, and they said they wanted to learn salsa dancing. I replied, "That's exciting. I've always wanted to try it. Maybe we could take a class together sometime." That simple exchange turned a brief chat into a potential future meetup. It illustrates how a well-timed personal question can create a bridge beyond the party. Would you try that, Alex?
Following that, you can deepen the connection with a follow-up like, "What inspired you to pick salsa?" This shows you're genuinely interested in their motivation. Their answer might reveal cultural ties, a favorite movie, or a desire for fitness. each opening new subtopics. It also gives you a chance to relate your own experience, fostering empathy. Remember, the goal is a two-way street, not an interview. Nice, right, Sarah?
Active listening means paraphrasing or reflecting back what the other person said. You could say, "So you're drawn to salsa because it's a great way to stay active and meet new people, right?" This confirms you understood and encourages them to elaborate. It also subtly reinforces the conversation's momentum. When you mirror their enthusiasm, they feel heard and are more likely to stay engaged. Does that help, Alex?
Humor is a powerful ally, especially when used lightly. A quick joke like, if I can't keep up with the salsa steps, I'll just pretend I'm doing a dramatic interpretive dance, can diffuse tension and make you memorable. Just ensure the humor is self-deprecating or situational, not at anyone's expense. A well-placed laugh can reset the energy and invite more relaxed chatter. And remember, laughter is a universal language, great for English learners. Hope that works, Sarah.
Even with all these tools, awkward silences happen. When the pause feels too long, you can revive the flow with a filler question like, "By the way, have you tried the punch? It's surprisingly good." This re-anchors the conversation to the present environment. Alternatively, you can comment on the music or the weather, which are safe, neutral topics. The key is to stay calm, smile, and treat the silence as a natural breath in the dialogue. What would you do, Alex?
But the real game changer is learning to turn that brief pause into a shared laugh. Imagine you both glance at the clock and you say, "Looks like the DJ is about to drop the next hit. Should we request something?" That playful suggestion can spark a joint activity, like requesting a song or dancing together. It transforms a potential lull into an interactive moment. Curious how to smoothly suggest a group activity? Ready to suggest an activity, Sarah?
After you've suggested an activity, gauge the group's reaction. If they smile and nod, you can say, "Great, I'll ask the DJ, any song you'd love to hear?" This invites participation and shows you're inclusive. If they seem hesitant, you can simply shift back to a lighter topic, like asking about their favorite party memory. Flexibility is essential. Read the room and adapt. How would you handle that, Alex?
Let's recap the core strategies. Start with a simple icebreaker. Listen before you speak. Use the 4-4-6-2 breath technique. Add personal anecdotes and sprinkle humor wisely. Combine these with open-ended questions to deepen the dialogue. Practice these steps in low-stakes settings, like a coffee shop before the big party. The more you rehearse, the more natural they become. Any questions, Sarah?
Exactly, Alex. Consistent practice is the engine that drives confidence. Even a 5-minute chat with a coworker can reinforce the patterns we discussed. Keep a journal of phrases that worked well and review them before your next event. Over time, you'll notice your anxiety shrinking and your fluency expanding. Do you feel ready, Alex?
We challenge you, dear listeners, to try at least one of these techniques at your next gathering and share the outcome in the comments. Did the food comment spark a conversation? Did the breath exercise calm your nerves? Your stories help our community learn together. Plus, we love hearing real-world successes. They inspire others to step out of their comfort zones. Will you share your story, Sarah?
What will your next party look like? Will you be the one initiating the chat, or will you join a group with confidence? Imagine walking in, taking a calming breath, and spotting a snack table as your launch pad. Visualizing success can actually improve performance thanks to the brain's rehearsal effect. What will you try, Alex?
To sum up in a nutshell, icebreaker, listen, breathe, contribute, humor, and follow up. Each step builds on the previous one, creating a smooth conversational arc. Think of it as a dance. First step, second step, spin, and finish with a bow. By mastering this rhythm, you'll feel at home in any party setting. Got it, Sarah?
You've got this, Alex, and you've got our listeners. Remember, every misstep is just a learning opportunity, not a failure. Celebrate the small victories, like asking a question or laughing at a joke. Over time, those tiny wins add up to big confidence gains. Feeling confident, Alex?
One final tip, always end a conversation on a positive note. A simple, "It was great chatting with you, I hope we run into each other again," leaves a pleasant impression and opens the door for future contact. If you have a contact method, you can add, Can I add you on Instagram? This keeps the connection alive beyond the party. Closing gracefully shows maturity and respect. Will you end on a high note, Sarah?
And that's the beauty of meeting someone new. It's a blend of language practice, human connection, and a dash of adventure. Even if the night ends with a few unfinished threads, you've still gained valuable experience. Keep applying these tools, and soon you'll find yourself navigating parties with ease and flair. Thanks for joining us on this conversational journey. Ready for the next adventure, Alex?
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Today we unpacked icebreakers, group entry tactics, confidence-boosting breaths, and ways to turn small talk into lasting connections. We hope you found these tips practical and fun. Remember, each conversation is a chance to sharpen both your social and English skills.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Also, share your party success stories in the comments below. We love hearing how you apply what you've learned.
Next week, we'll dive into another everyday scenario: ordering coffee in a busy cafe and mastering the art of small talk with baristas. We'll explore useful phrases, cultural etiquette, and how to sound natural while waiting for your latte. Stay tuned for more practical English in real life.
In the meantime, pick one of today's techniques and practice it at a low-key gathering, like a family dinner or a virtual meetup. Record yourself if you can, and notice how your confidence grows with each attempt.
Until then, keep chatting, keep laughing, and keep boosting your English. We're Alex, signing off with a big smile.
And I'm Sarah, reminding you that every conversation is a step forward. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.